Greetings, all gallant sailors on YouTube. Welcome to Abyssal Recap. Today we will sail our way to Republic of Moldova to witness a hardcore sci-fi horror movie called Spectral. Spoilers alert. Buckle up and take care. The movie starts with a soldier harshly moving through the city ruins. His teammates had all died with frozen organs. Evac was also delayed. All he could do at the moment was merely to keep stepping forward. Suddenly, an unknown invisible creature went through his body and froze him to death right at the scene. Dr. Mark Klein is a DARPA researcher. He is preparing to fly to Moldova, which is the current deployment location of the US military in the ongoing Moldovan war. He is invited to be consulted on one of his creations, a line of hyperspectral imaging goggles that have been issued to troops there. After arriving at a US military airbase on the outskirts of Chisinau, he meets with US Army General Orland and CIA officer Fran Madison. They show him footage captured by the troops' goggles of a mysterious, translucent, humanoid apparition that kills almost instantaneously. Knowing it is not interference, Orland wants Klein's expert opinion before forwarding the findings and footage to his superiors. To get a clearer shot of the anomalies and identify them, both Klein and Madison accompany a team of Delta Force operators into the field to find Utah team that went missing the day before. To capture a better image of the apparitions, Klein mounts a larger hyperspectral camera on an armored carrier. Upon arriving at the location, they discover all of the members of the Utah team are dead. Except one member named Comstock, who is found alive hiding under a bathtub. During further exploration, they are later ambushed by the apparitions who being impervious to small arms fire. The team inflict heavy casualties before they are ordered to retreat. While the retreat is not a success either. More operatives getting killed by the apparition. Klein risks his life climbing onto the camera to get better angle of the unknown creature, which shows it is also immune to explosives. The team finally rallied back onto the vehicles, but which triggered a landmine rendering their vehicles inoperable. Then the group takes shelter in an abandoned factory where they find two children barricaded inside. The apparitions attempt to follow them but are stopped by a barrier of iron shavings. The children share that their father scattered the shavings to protect his children before he was killed. The survivors make contact with the airbase and set up a rendezvous. Klein modifies the hyperspectral camera into a large searchlight, which enables the group to see the apparitions without the need for goggles. Klein points out numerous crates of iron shavings lying around the factory, which the unit uses to turn their grenades into IEDs laced with iron shavings to give them a fighting chance. Fortified with these new weapons, the group sets out for the rendezvous point about a half-mile away from the factory. About an hour before the extraction time, the apparitions find a way to cross the barrier, forcing the survivors to leave the factory. The apparitions chase the group, who uses the iron explosives to slow them down. Reinforcements and a helicopter evac join them at the rendezvous point, a largely abandoned plaza. However, they are ambushed by the apparitions and are barely able to escape as the figures kill one of the children and the soldiers sent as backup. Seeing the choppers landing, Klein takes out his iron shavings and smashes the bottles on the ground. With the help of the chopper, the shavings pervasively spreads, holding the apparitions off and earning the group time to take off. Once safely in the air, they receive word from Orland that the apparitions have overrun the airbase, so they are redirected to a civilian bunker controlled by the Allied Moldovan military. Thinking over what he learned from the young girl they have rescued, Klein deduces the apparitions are likely man-made and are made of Bose-Einstein condensate, which explains their ability to move through walls, freeze people to death, and the inability to pass through iron shavings and ceramic materials, which also explains the survivor under the bathtub. Working overnight with Orland and surviving military engineers, he constructs several makeshift pulse weapons capable of breaking down the condensate. The next morning, the remaining American soldiers head to the Masarov power plant in the center of the city by V-22 Ospreys, as Klein believes it is the only facility capable of generating the power needed to create the condensate. While the soldiers mount an offensive distraction on the roof of the plant, Klein and Madison descend down to a recently overrun laboratory inside. They deduce that scientists, working in weapons research for the former regime, were scanning humans on a molecular level and using advanced 3D printing to replicate them in condensate form. The human test subjects' brains and peripheral nervous systems were then removed and hooked up to a central machine that keeps the condensate copies alive. They also figure out that to stop the condensates, they only need to cut off the power supply. On the roof, the soldiers notice that some scattered apparitions can reunite the body. And its reformed body is much devastating than before. A bitter battle resumes. In the meantime, the fierce fighting outside is disturbing the apparitions inside, which manage to break the cells. Klein's supply cutting procedure receives major interference. Time's ticking, but there's still 4 more cables to cut. Back to the roof, the soldier decides to use 3 clips at the same time. The huge recoil bounces him off and huge explosion shatters the ceramic glass of the cell. At this critical moment, Klein activates failsafe system, releasing all cables from the machine. All the apparitions demobilize instantly. They disappear into thin air. Being back on his feet, Klein proceeds to the lab which contains human nerve samples. Believing that whatever level of consciousness remaining is in pain, he unplugs the human remains from the machine, finally giving them peace. That's the end of today's video. If you do enjoy watching it, feel free to leave a like and consider to subscribe to the channel. And I will see you guys in the next one. Abyssal signing out.